My beloved brothers and sisters, many people spend their lives waiting to be happy. They tell themselves, I will feel peace when my problems end, when people treat me better, when life becomes easier. But life was never meant to be perfect before your heart becomes calm. If happiness depended on circumstances, no one would ever have it for long. Islam teaches us that true peace does not come from everything going your way. It comes from knowing Allah is guiding your way. When you trust that every event in your life carries wisdom, your heart stops fighting reality. Some days will bring ease and some days will bring difficulty, yet the believer remains steady because their comfort is not tied to events but to their relationship with Allah. Happiness is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of trust. Happiness comes from the heart, not circumstances. Many people believe happiness will arrive when their situation improves. They wait for better finances, kinder treatment, or fewer problems. Yet even when circumstances change, the heart often remains restless. This shows that happiness does not come from outside conditions, it comes from the state of the heart. A heart connected to Allah can feel calm even during difficulty, while a distracted heart can feel empty even during comfort. When your reliance is on events, your emotions rise and fall constantly. When your reliance is on Allah, your inner state becomes steady. Life will always bring changes, but the heart can remain balanced. Real contentment begins when you nurture your faith rather than chase perfect surroundings. Sometimes you receive what you wanted and still feel unsettled. You achieve a goal, solve a problem, or gain approval, yet peace lasts only briefly. Soon another worry replaces it. This cycle teaches that circumstances cannot sustain happiness. The heart seeks something deeper than temporary relief. Remembrance of Allah provides that depth. When you pause to pray and reflect, your mind slows and your breathing softens. You feel supported beyond material comfort. The connection itself brings calmness. This calmness remains even after the moment passes because it comes from within. A person may live a simple life yet feel grateful daily. Another may possess many comforts yet remain anxious. The difference lies not in possessions but in perspective. Gratitude opens the heart to peace. Complaints close it. When you thank Allah regularly, you notice blessings that once seemed ordinary. Your focus shifts from what is missing to what is present. This shift transforms your emotional state. The same environment feels lighter because your perception changed. Difficulties do not automatically remove happiness. They test where your reliance rests. When hardship comes and you remember Allah, patience appears. You may still feel pain, but you also feel hope. Hope protects you from despair. You know relief will come, even if slowly. This belief stabilizes your emotions. Your heart does not collapse because it trusts divine wisdom. Peace exists beside struggle. Comparing your life to others often weakens contentment. You see their ease and assume they are happier, yet you cannot see their private struggles. Allah gives each person a unique path. When you accept your path, jealousy fades. You appreciate your blessings instead of measuring them. Acceptance increases emotional comfort. You walk your journey calmly because you trust its purpose. Overthinking often steals joy. The mind replays past mistakes and imagines future worries. These thoughts create heaviness. Turning to Allah interrupts this cycle. Dua allows you to release mental pressure. Speaking openly in prayer relaxes your thoughts. You feel heard. This feeling restores balance. Your heart regains calmness. Happiness also grows through forgiveness. Holding resentment burdens the heart. Remembering Allah encourages mercy. When you forgive, you free yourself emotionally. The situation may not change, but your inner state improves. Forgiveness replaces anger with peace. Routine worship strengthens inner stability. Daily prayer gives structure to emotions. Each salah becomes a pause from stress. You step away from worldly concerns and reconnect with Allah. This regular connection keeps your heart grounded. Even busy days feel manageable because you return repeatedly to calmness. Expectations influence happiness greatly. When you expect perfection from people, disappointment follows. Recognizing human limitations protects peace. You appreciate kindness without demanding constancy. Your heart remains steady because it relies on Allah rather than reactions. Solitude also teaches inner happiness. Being alone may initially feel uncomfortable, but when you fill solitude with remembrance, it becomes comforting. Quiet moments allow reflection and gratitude. You discover calmness independent of company. This independence strengthens emotional stability. Service to others increases happiness as well. Helping someone sincerely brings warmth to the heart. You realize you can spread goodness regardless of your situation. Acts of kindness connect you to purpose. Purpose nurtures contentment. Repentance also heals the heart. Guilt disturbs inner peace. When you ask Allah for forgiveness sincerely, relief follows. You feel lighter because you trust His mercy. This reassurance restores hope and joy. Trust in Allah reduces fear of the future. You plan responsibly but release excessive worry. Knowing He manages outcomes calms your thoughts. Your heart rests because you are not alone in uncertainty. Gradually you notice your reactions changing. Situations that once upset you deeply now feel manageable. Faith strengthens resilience. You recover quickly from disappointment. Stability replaces emotional swings. Always remember, happiness comes from the heart, not circumstances. Life will continue to change, but your peace can remain. By nurturing your connection with Allah, practicing gratitude and trusting His wisdom, you gain a calmness that does not depend on events. This inner tranquility stays with you through ease and hardship, and it becomes a lasting source of comfort in every day of your life. Gratitude changes how you see your life. Gratitude begins with noticing. Many blessings surround you daily, yet the heart often focuses on what is missing. When you wake up and immediately think about worries, your mood becomes heavy before the day even starts. But when you pause and thank Allah for life, breath, and another chance to improve, your perspective shifts. Nothing around you changed, yet your heart feels lighter. Gratitude trains the mind to recognize mercy in ordinary moments. You start seeing your life not as a list of problems, but as a collection of gifts. This awareness brings calmness because you realize Allah's care is constant. The believer who thanks Allah regularly experiences peace, not because life is perfect, but because they see perfection in Allah's generosity. Sometimes you compare your life with others and feel lacking. You see someone with more comfort or success and assume they are happier. Gratitude protects you from this illusion. When you list your own blessings sincerely, comparison loses power. You realize every person carries struggles unseen. Allah gave you what suits your journey. Accepting this replaces jealousy with contentment. Your heart rests because you trust divine distribution. You no longer measure your worth through others' lives. Gratitude also changes how you view hardship. Instead of seeing only difficulty, you begin searching for hidden mercy. Even in trials, there are lessons, patience, and growth. Recognizing this softens pain. You understand that hardship does not cancel blessings. Both can exist together. This balanced view prevents despair. You feel hopeful because Allah's wisdom operates even in difficulty. A grateful heart notices small joys. A kind word, a peaceful moment, or a completed prayer becomes meaningful. These moments accumulate into happiness. Without gratitude, they pass unnoticed. Appreciation increases awareness. Your day becomes filled with quiet comforts you previously ignored. Life feels richer without any external change. Gratitude strengthens patience. When you remember past favors from Allah, you trust future relief. You recall how previous worries resolved and your faith increases. This memory calms anxiety. Instead of fearing endlessly, you wait with hope. Patience grows because gratitude reminds you of Allah's consistent mercy. Complaining, on the other hand, narrows your perspective. When you focus only on problems, they appear larger than they are. Gratitude widens your vision. You see good alongside difficulty. This balance protects mental health. Your thoughts become calmer because they include hope. Gratitude improves relationships as well. When you appreciate people's efforts, resentment decreases. You notice kindness instead of mistakes. Your responses become gentler. Others feel valued and harmony increases. A thankful heart spreads peace beyond itself. Thanking Allah through worship deepens faith. Saying Alhamdulillah sincerely connects your heart to Him. Words become meaningful reminders rather than routine. Each expression of thanks renews awareness of His presence. This awareness comforts you throughout the day. Gratitude also reduces overthinking. When you focus on blessings, your mind spends less time replaying worries. Your thoughts settle. Calmness increases because attention shifts from fear to appreciation. This mental relief strengthens emotional stability. During sadness, gratitude does not deny pain but balances it. You acknowledge hurt while remembering mercy. This combination prevents hopelessness. Your heart remains open to healing because it recognizes goodness still exists. Gratitude also encourages generosity. Recognizing what Allah gave you inspires you to give to others. Sharing blessings increases joy. You feel purposeful and connected. Helping others reinforces your appreciation. Another effect is humility. When you thank Allah, you remember blessings come from Him, not solely from your effort. Pride decreases and sincerity increases. Humility brings peace because you no longer carry the burden of self-importance. Gratitude makes daily routines meaningful. Eating, resting, and working become acts of appreciation. You live consciously rather than automatically. Each moment feels valuable. Life gains depth and satisfaction. With gratitude, fear of loss decreases. You trust Allah to manage what He gave. Instead of clinging anxiously, you enjoy blessings while they are present. This trust removes tension and increases serenity. Always remember, gratitude changes how you see your life. Circumstances may remain similar, yet your heart becomes calmer and hopeful. By thanking Allah consistently, you shift from scarcity to abundance in your perception. This shift creates a lasting peace, allowing you to experience contentment and happiness even in ordinary days. Stop comparing your journey to others. Many people lose peace not because their life is difficult, but because they constantly measure it against someone else's life. You see others achieving milestones sooner and you begin questioning your own progress. Your heart feels left behind even though your path is still unfolding. Comparison shifts your focus from Allah's plan to human timelines. You forget that Allah writes each story differently. When you compare, you judge your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 10. This creates unnecessary sadness. Instead of appreciating your growth, you feel inadequate. Islam teaches you to trust divine timing. Your life is not late, it is unfolding exactly as Allah wills. Peace begins when you accept your journey as personal and purposeful. Social media increases the struggle. You see highlights of others' lives and assume they represent constant reality. You do not see their hidden worries, private tears, or silent struggles. Comparing your everyday life to someone's best moments distorts your perception. You begin thinking happiness belongs only to others, but Allah knows the unseen details of every heart. What looks perfect outside may carry hardship inside. When you remember this, your perspective softens. You stop competing with illusions and start valuing your real blessings. Comparison also weakens gratitude. Instead of noticing what you have, you focus on what you lack. Your blessings feel smaller because someone else has more. Gratitude disappears and dissatisfaction grows. Yet Allah gave you exactly what suits your life. He did not forget you or overlook you. When you reflect on your own provisions sincerely, appreciation returns. Contentment grows because you see mercy in your circumstances. Everyone's tests differ. Someone may have success in one area but struggle deeply in another. Wealth may exist alongside loneliness. Popularity may exist alongside anxiety. Allah balances each life uniquely. When you compare only visible aspects, you misunderstand reality. Accepting this prevents envy. You trust that your tests and blessings are chosen with wisdom. Comparison also affects self-worth. You start believing you are less valuable because you have less recognition or achievement, but your worth is not measured by people's progress. It is measured by your sincerity with Allah. A small act done sincerely may hold greater value than a large achievement done for approval. Understanding this restores dignity. You stop seeking validation through comparison. Another harm of comparison is impatience. You rush your growth because you want results quickly. Yet rushing often leads to frustration. Allah develops you gradually. Every stage teaches lessons necessary for the next. When you trust this process, patience becomes easier. You allow life to progress naturally instead of forcing it. Comparison also steals joy from accomplishments. When you reach a goal, you immediately look at someone further ahead. Satisfaction disappears because you moved the standard again. Gratitude cannot grow in constant comparison. Celebrating your progress, however small, nurtures happiness. You acknowledge Allah's help and continue steadily. Your risk is also unique. Provision includes not only wealth but health, relationships and peace. Allah distributes these differently among people. Someone may have money but lack calmness. Another may have little wealth but great tranquility. Recognizing this broadens your understanding of blessing. You appreciate what you were given without resentment. Stopping comparison improves relationships. Jealousy quietly damages connection. You may withdraw or feel distant without reason. When you focus on your own path, you feel happy for others sincerely. Their success no longer threatens you. Your heart becomes lighter because you removed hidden rivalry. It also improves mental health. Constant comparison creates anxiety and overthinking. You question your abilities and decisions repeatedly. Trusting Allah's plan calms your thoughts. You move forward with confidence rather than doubt. Stability replaces insecurity. Remember that Allah sees effort, not only outcome. You may be striving quietly while others appear ahead. Your perseverance is valuable. Allah rewards patience even when people do not notice. Knowing this encourages you to continue without discouragement. Your journey also includes timing suited to your character. Some lessons must be learned before blessings arrive. If you received certain things earlier, they might harm you. Allah prepares you first. This preparation protects you even when it feels like delay. Contentment grows when you measure yourself only against your past self. Notice your improvement in patience, kindness, and faith. Spiritual growth matters more than worldly comparison. You become calmer because you see progress within. When you trust Allah's plan, you stop asking why others receive differently. You accept wisdom beyond your understanding. This acceptance brings relief. You no longer feel overlooked. You feel guided. Always remember, stop comparing your journey to others. Your story is unique and intentionally written. By focusing on your path and trusting Allah's timing, your heart becomes peaceful. Contentment replaces envy. Gratitude replaces dissatisfaction. And you walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Acceptance brings emotional relief. Acceptance begins when the heart stops fighting what already happened. Many people carry pain longer than necessary because they keep replaying the same moment, wishing it unfolded differently. The mind argues with reality and the soul becomes exhausted. You ask why this happened to you and imagine better outcomes. Yet what is written has already occurred by Allah's permission. Emotional relief does not come from changing the past, but from surrendering to Allah's wisdom about it. When you finally say, Ya Allah, I trust you, even if I do not understand, your chest feels lighter. The event remains, but its weight decreases. Acceptance is not weakness, it is reliance. It allows your heart to rest instead of struggle against something you cannot reverse. Often you think acceptance means you are agreeing with the pain. In truth, acceptance means you are trusting Allah beyond the pain. You acknowledge that His knowledge surrounds what you cannot see. He knows outcomes, consequences, and hidden protection. When you resist His decree emotionally, you carry double hardship, the situation itself and your refusal of it. Acceptance removes the second burden. You still feel sadness, but it becomes manageable rather than overwhelming. Peace begins entering gradually. Many people delay healing because they wait for explanation from others. You want closure through apologies or conversations that may never happen. Your heart stays attached to a response. But sometimes Allah does not allow closure from people so you can find closure with Him. When you stop waiting for answers from creation and start turning to the Creator, relief begins. You no longer depend on someone else's words to calm your mind. Acceptance also quiets overthinking. Without it, your thoughts repeat endlessly, searching for reasons and replaying details. Sleep becomes restless and focus disappears. Once you accept Allah's decree, your mind stops searching for control. You realize understanding every detail is not necessary for peace. Trust replaces analysis. Your thoughts settle and your breathing slows. Another relief comes from releasing self-blame. You may constantly wonder what you did wrong. Reflection is useful, but excessive guilt harms you. Acceptance helps you learn lessons without punishing yourself forever. You take responsibility where needed and leave the rest to Allah's wisdom. Mercy toward yourself reflects belief in His mercy toward you. Acceptance strengthens patience. Instead of rushing recovery, you allow healing to take time. You understand hearts do not recover instantly. Each day you move slightly forward. Patience makes progress steady and gentle. Allah loves consistent endurance more than forced strength. When you accept, resentment fades. Holding anger ties you to the pain. You remain emotionally connected to what hurt you. Acceptance allows forgiveness to begin. Forgiveness frees your heart more than the other person. You stop carrying their actions inside you. Acceptance also restores dignity. Chasing explanations or revisiting hurt repeatedly weakens self-respect. By stepping back and trusting Allah, you protect your honor. You walk forward with calmness rather than desperation. Your strength becomes quiet and stable. Through acceptance, you start noticing wisdom. You may later see how certain outcomes protected you or redirected you. What once seemed loss becomes guidance. This understanding grows slowly, but it grows surely. Allah's plan reveals itself over time. Acceptance changes your dua. Instead of only asking for the past to return, you ask for strength and guidance ahead. Your prayers become forward-looking. Hope replaces regret. This shift moves your life from stagnation to growth. You also rediscover gratitude. Even in hardship, blessings remain. Acceptance opens your eyes to them. You see kindness, support, and mercy you overlooked before. Gratitude softens your heart and balances your emotions. Your connection with Allah deepens through acceptance. You speak to Him more sincerely because you rely on Him more fully. You learn that reliance is not just during ease, but especially during confusion. This closeness comforts you. Acceptance reduces fear of the future. If Allah managed your past, He will manage what comes next. You stop expecting disaster and begin expecting mercy. This confidence calms anxiety and strengthens hope. Healing becomes noticeable with time. Memories remain, but pain decreases. You remember without breaking. This is emotional relief. It arrives quietly, not suddenly, and stays longer. Always remember, acceptance brings emotional relief because it places your burden where it belongs with Allah. By trusting His decree, you free your heart from constant resistance. You move forward peacefully, knowing that whatever He allowed carried wisdom, and whatever He plans ahead carries mercy. Dua connects your worries to Allah. Worries feel heavier when you carry them alone. The mind repeats the same thoughts, searching for solutions and imagining outcomes, yet peace does not arrive. Dua changes this experience. When you raise your hands and speak to Allah, your burden is no longer only yours. You transfer your concern to the one who controls every result. Even before circumstances change, your chest feels lighter. This is because the heart was created to rely on its creator. You are not informing Allah of something He does not know. You are reminding yourself that you are not alone. The moment you sincerely call upon Him, your struggle becomes shared with divine mercy, and hope quietly replaces pressure. Many people hesitate to make dua because they think their problems are too small. Yet nothing is small to Allah. What disturbs your heart matters to Him. When you talk to Him about your fears, confusion, or sadness, you are building a relationship, not just making a request. This connection calms the heart. You begin to feel heard even without human conversation. Allah's awareness brings comfort greater than reassurance from people. The believer learns that dua is not only for crises but for daily life. Dua also organizes your thoughts. When worries remain inside your mind, they feel tangled and overwhelming. Speaking them in prayer forces clarity. You recognize what truly concerns you and what you can release. The act of expressing softens anxiety. You stop repeating the same thought endlessly because you entrusted it to Allah. Your mind rests after surrendering the burden. Sometimes solutions do not appear immediately. Still, after sincere dua, you feel patience increasing. This patience is itself an answer. Allah may not remove the problem at once, but He strengthens you to face it calmly. Strength is often a greater gift than instant change. You continue your effort without panic because you trust support. Dua changes how you view outcomes. Before, you feared every possibility. After prayer, you accept whatever Allah chooses. You believe He selected what benefits you, even if it differs from your preference. This belief reduces disappointment. You become flexible with events and stable in emotion. In loneliness, dua becomes companionship. You may not find someone to share every feeling with, but Allah is always available. Late at night or early morning, you can speak freely. This constant accessibility comforts the heart deeply. You realize you are never truly isolated. Dua also improves decision making. When you seek Allah's guidance before choices, your confidence increases. You do not depend solely on your limited understanding. You trust that He will direct you away from harm. Even if a decision proves difficult, you feel calm knowing you sought His help. Repeated dua builds consistency in faith. You turn to Allah in ease and difficulty alike. This habit strengthens reliance gradually. Your first reaction to worry becomes prayer instead of panic. Over time, this reflex protects your emotional balance. Another effect of dua is humility. You recognize your limitations and Allah's power. Instead of feeling helpless, you feel supported. Humility reduces arrogance and brings inner peace. You accept help from the one who never tires. Dua also encourages forgiveness. When you ask Allah for mercy, you remember others need mercy too. Your heart softens toward those who hurt you. You release anger and feel relief. Emotional healing begins through this gentleness. Your hope grows through dua. Even when circumstances remain uncertain, you expect goodness. Hope keeps your energy alive and prevents despair. The believer never feels completely defeated because prayer keeps the door open. Dua connects daily activities to worship. Asking Allah for help in small tasks turns ordinary moments meaningful. Your day feels guided. Purpose replaces routine. This awareness increases satisfaction. You also notice gratitude increasing. After sharing worries, you become more aware of blessings. You thank Allah sincerely because you feel His care. Gratitude and dua strengthen each other. Over time, your resilience improves. Problems still occur, but they do not overwhelm you. You recover faster because you immediately seek divine support. Your heart learns stability through reliance. Always remember, dua connects your worries to Allah. It moves your concerns from a limited mind to unlimited mercy. By speaking to Him regularly, you gain calmness, clarity, and hope. The situation may take time to change, but your heart changes immediately, and that change brings a peace deeper than any solution alone could provide. Trusting Allah creates lasting peace. Peace often escapes a person who tries to control everything. You want clear answers, predictable outcomes, and guaranteed security. When life changes suddenly, your heart feels shaken because your expectations were tied to certainty. Trusting Allah shifts the struggle. You accept that the one who knows the unseen is managing what you cannot predict. This belief calms the mind. You still plan and work, but you release the need to control results. The burden of constant worry lifts because you know the outcome is in wise hands. Even when events confuse you, you remind yourself that divine wisdom operates beyond your understanding. This reminder brings calmness that logic alone cannot give. Sometimes your plans fail despite effort. Without trust, failure feels like loss. With trust, it becomes redirection. You realize Allah is guiding you away from something unsuitable. Instead of remaining stuck in disappointment, you search for the lesson. Hope stays alive because you believe good still exists ahead. Trust transforms setbacks into meaningful steps. Trust also softens fear of uncertainty. The future often worries people because it is unknown. When you believe Allah controls tomorrow, uncertainty becomes less frightening. You prepare responsibly while accepting what comes. Your heart rests because your security lies beyond circumstances. Anxiety decreases when faith increases. In relationships, trusting Allah reduces emotional dependence. You love sincerely, but do not collapse when behavior changes. You accept that people enter and leave according to divine plan. If someone stays, you are grateful. If they depart, you believe wisdom exists. This perspective protects your heart from breaking repeatedly. Trust helps you forgive easier. When someone wrongs you, anger feels natural, yet you remember Allah sees justice fully. You leave the matter to Him instead of carrying resentment. Your heart becomes lighter because you no longer hold the burden of revenge. Forgiveness becomes a form of relief. Daily life becomes calmer as well. Small inconveniences no longer disturb you deeply. Delays, mistakes, and unexpected problems feel manageable. You remind yourself, Allah allowed this moment for a reason. This thought prevents frustration from growing. Your reactions become gentler. Trust strengthens patience. Waiting becomes easier because you believe timing matters. You no longer rush what Allah delayed. You continue effort steadily, confident that results will arrive appropriately. Patience brings emotional stability and steady hope. Gratitude also increases with trust. You recognize blessings as intentional gifts rather than coincidences. You thank Allah sincerely because you feel His care. Gratitude enhances peace by focusing your mind on mercy instead of worry. During hardship, trust becomes especially valuable. Even when pain exists, despair does not. You know relief will come eventually. This expectation comforts the heart. You endure challenges with resilience because hope remains strong. Trust also improves decision making. You seek guidance through prayer and reflection. Even difficult choices feel lighter because you rely on Allah's help. Confidence grows because you are not alone in judgment. Your thoughts become quieter. Overthinking decreases because you stop analyzing every possibility endlessly. You accept what you cannot control. Mental calmness follows acceptance. Your mind rests more easily. You begin to live in the present moment. Instead of worrying about tomorrow constantly, you focus on today's responsibilities. Trust frees you from imagining endless problems. This awareness improves concentration and productivity. You notice emotional recovery becoming faster. Difficult experiences still affect you, but not for long. Faith allows healing to begin quickly. You regain balance because you know every trial carries meaning. Your relationship with Allah deepens. You speak to Him regularly and rely on Him sincerely. This closeness provides comfort stronger than reassurance from people. You feel supported internally. Always remember, trusting Allah creates lasting peace. Circumstances will continue changing, but reliance on Him remains steady. When your heart believes that everything happens under His wisdom, calmness stays with you. This calmness is not temporary happiness, but stable tranquility that accompanies you through both ease and hardship. My dear brothers and sisters, you will not control everything that happens in life, but you can protect the state of your heart. Some days you will receive what you hoped for, and other days you will face disappointment. Yet the believer learns to remain calm because they know nothing happens without Allah's wisdom. When you wake up each day remembering Allah, thanking Him for what you have, and trusting Him with what you do not have, your heart becomes lighter. Happiness is not a perfect life, it is a peaceful heart. When your reliance is on Allah, your mood no longer rises and falls with every situation. You still feel emotions, but they no longer break you. The one who trusts Allah carries hope in difficulty and gratitude in ease, and this balance brings a quiet happiness that stays with you every day.